This show is intended for mature audiences. Topics of adult content, triggers, and explicit language may be discussed with or without warning. All thoughts and opinions belong to our hosts and do not reflect the original creator's own intentions. Spoilers for the book will be discussed, and while most discussion will revolve around the picked book, we do not guarantee there will be no spoiler warnings for other books or series. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Biblio Madness, a podcast for book lovers where we discuss our current and favorite reads. I'm your host, Laken.
And I'm your host, Rachel.
Today we are diving into the captivating world of tropes and storytelling.
We're excited to explore those reoccurring themes, plot twists, and character dynamics that add depth and excitement to the books we adore. So grab your headphones, a delightful snack, and a cozy beverage as we immerse ourselves in a trope-filled conversation. And also just want to welcome everyone from all the different platforms and whatever you're listening. Hello, people of YouTube, as well as people of Spotify and all of the podcast platforms. We are going to be conversating over tropes, mostly going over our favorites, exploring different types of tropes, the classics, the cliches, and diving into what makes a successful trope.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to start with the cliches or just go straight into our favorites? What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. So I guess I will say first, before we do anything and before I maybe accidentally bash someone's favorite trope.
Oh yeah, these are our opinions.
These are our opinions. And tropes, they do serve a purpose. Even if you hate them, most of the time they do serve a purpose that the author intended. That being said, I don't know. What should we get into first? The favorites or the cliches?
I feel like we should go through cliches before we get to our favorites.
Yeah. So there's a handful of tropes that I feel like everybody out there kind of knows. They're cliched, they're classic, and some of them we hate, but others.
Those are our opinions. These are the most cliche tropes that you can find anywhere.
I like to be a person that I'm like, oh, I hate cliched tropes, but I realize as I'm writing these down, I'm a sucker for a lot of them.
Oh no.
And it's like, I don't know, like one of the ones I have on here that I was thinking about that every single time I like read about it is like, oh, I hate cliched tropes, but then it's like, the who did this to you. Every time that happens in a book, I'm like, oh my god, who did this to you?
I didn't even remember that trope, but now that I'm thinking about it, that happens in all. It's like the most classic line for a male character to say to
fantasy,
a female
if they see something wrong or anything, and it's like, who did this to you?
Well, like not even in fantasy, because I read a lot of romance. That happens a lot in rom-coms. They're like, who did this? I'll fight them right now, and I'm like, my heart.
Yeah, or another one that I think I fall for every single time is the grumpy in the Sunshine character.
Oh my god.
Every single time.
That's book lovers to a T.
Every single time it's a grumpy in the sunshine. I'm just like, oh my gosh, she loves the Sunshine character, or she loves the Sunshine character.
That's funny, though. You mentioned, too, that I forgot because my brain's so used to reading it in books that I was like, that's not a trope.
It's just literature at this point.
No, that's true. I love the grumpy Sunshine, though. I feel like that one, you can't not love it. It's like, even if it's a girl that's grumpy and a guy that's Sunshine, because that's like, you have the black cat and the golden retriever vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, my husband's a golden retriever.
Yeah.
So is yours.
Yes.
And then we're like the black cats. It's great.
True. It works for a reason. There's a reason it's cliche. There's a reason that it's good.
It works for a reason because there's so many out there. Like, golden retriever boyfriends is such a common term now. Yeah. Which in book literature is just Sunshine with grumps.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I like that. What other cliches you got? She has them listed. I do not.
I wrote it for any of these you can see. I wrote a big list here of all of the ones I wanted to bring up.
On paper and not our Google Drive, so I don't get a shared list.
I can put it right here if you want.
You're okay. Go for it.
Another one I had, which is, I put it in the cliched instead of my favorite, even though I think it still falls under one of my favorites, is enemies to lovers.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier because I was trying to pull. So some of you have seen our Instagram posts for this podcast. for our sneak peek, and I was trying to pull books with different tropes, and I realized how many of my books on my shelves are just enemies to lovers.
Yeah, I have a ton that
Which
are enemies to lovers.
I absolutely love in a book, but I have never once in real life was like, man, that guy's a jerk. Let me go date him.
Yeah, I feel like, so with this trope, I feel like I'll talk a little bit about why I like it so much, I think, and like maybe the psychology behind
Ooh,
it.
okay.
So, like you just said, in real life, this is not an attractive thing. Like,
Nope.
someone who's a complete a-hole to you would not be like, yeah, let me go after this person. But when you're reading and you like, I feel like I heard someone describe it once as the reason that we like this is because you're able to show like the worst sides of yourself to someone and they'd still want you. It's that kind of like,
Okay.
if you see the absolute worst parts of me and see like how bad I am and still like
Love you.
love me for it, like it's kind of like the villain, and
I get that.
I feel like it's often the enemies to lovers trope falls into the misunderstood villain category. Like, we find the character who is the villain but is really not the villain.
Also misunderstood villain. That's a whole trope on its own.
Yeah.
It's in 1, 2, 3,
So
4,
many.
5, 6.
It's in the book series
7.
we're currently reading.
7. Like, so many books have the misunderstood villain, which in reality is most of the time what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Because normally the real villain, everyone thinks is a hero.
Yeah.
Hitler, villain.
Yeah.
People thought he was the hero in this
true.
time frame. Bad situation. Thanos.
Thanos.
In Marvel, some people thought he was a hero for what he was doing.
There's still some people that I know that agree with him. And
Yeah.
I don't know. You've watched Death Note, right?
Yes.
For anybody that's like an anime fan out there as well, like Light's character is like a really good one for like that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think the most scary villains are the ones who are of power and have a following.
Yeah.
And are considered heroes. Yeah. Or savior complex.
Savior complexes, yeah. I don't like
the savior complex.
I guess that one can fall in the hate category. I don't really care much for the complex.
See, now I'm going to say this is going to hurt your feelings really fast. You know who has the savior complex in a book we recently read?
I swear, if you say Hudson.
Oh, no.
Jackson?
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Jackson has a savior complex.
Oh,
how did you not see
boy.
that? You know it's true.
That's why.
The savior complex in him is strong. He would not let Grace be Grace. He was just, I have to protect you. I have to save you. I have to save everyone. The responsibility is on me.
He does kind of have
he has a savior complex.
He has a big savior, like, hero. Which I wouldn't say that he thinks he's the hero in the story, but he definitely has the, like, it's all up to me.
Hudson puts a pretty good description of what he is on there. Because he's like, he doesn't need all of this. He's just like the pity, but also wants to be the savior, but also wants to be pitied.
Yeah. I still love him.
I know you do.
Sorry, Jackson. You can grow. You're still young.
He's still young. He's still got time. He's only like 200 years old. You're the one who said he was young.
I know. Well, I mean, like, in retrospect to how, like, those characters are, but I was just saying that he's only 200 years old made me think of, like, how old, like, the men in the books that we read are, like, the fantasy versions. Like, they're, like, Rhysand is 500 years old. Took that man a long time to get to the level of, like, perfection that he is. He's still not perfect.
This is why men can't reach certain...
But, like,
this is unrealistic.
Perhaps Rhysand at 200 years old is also, like, egotistical savior complex.
Probably.
So we just need to give Jackson, like, another 300 years and he'll ripen out.
I'm trying not to laugh at that, but it's fine.
It's kind of true.
So true. Alright. What other...
What's another one?
Well, I'm trying to think. Friends to Lovers is a...
Friends to Lovers is a big one.
Big one.
I'm not huge on the Friends to Lovers. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I feel like it kind of reinforces the idea of, like, I don't know, friend zoning in a way. Like, I don't know. I feel like
self-destruction.
Yeah. I feel like it can be done well. I think this would fall into, like, a love-hate for me. It can be done well, but also, like, I don't know, something about it doesn't sit right.
See, this is a question I'll ask after we go through the full of these, but it's also a good point right now. Like, we're both married. What trope would you put on your relationship?
On my relationship?
Yeah.
You want us to answer this now?
Yeah, go for it.
Which one would I put? I don't know.
Okay, so if you can't think about it while we go through the rest of these.
Nothing that I wrote here, I don't think.
See, now you gotta think about it, because, like, you gotta think, are some of these tropes realistic to current? Because, like, I fall under friends to lover, insta love.
Yeah,
and also tragedy tropes.
Yeah, the tragedy tropes. I'll let you explain that one if you want. Yeah, I don't know, because I wouldn't count it as a friends to lovers, even though, like, we were friends before we... Like,
you were friends for,
we were friends for a couple months before. But when I think of friends to lovers, like, in the trope...
You think long
I think,
friends.
like, long-term friends. Like, best friends to lovers. Like, you know, think Simon and Clary from the Mortal Instruments. Or, like...
Oh, yeah.
Annabeth and Percy, even. Because they were friends for so long.
That's true.
That one was done well. That is...
And so were the characters from Better Than the Movies. They were friends. They were enemies to lovers and friends to lovers.
What was I saying? I don't know.
You'll think about it. Just
Maybe,
think about
like, I don't know, reluctant lover, like, reluctant friend to lovers or something, because I was so hesitant to, like, I did not want to date him.
Wow.
Not because he was bad.
The truth comes out.
It's mostly because, like, I had such a horrible previous experience to him, and I was...
Hold up. Pause. This sounds just like what Caleb said about me. And now I think you and Daniel and Caleb have something more in common. Of all of you had bad past relationships, and then you all married one of those siblings, and, like, all of our siblings. Because Caleb also was like, I had a terrible experience, and I was done with women. Both you and your sister constantly, like, compare me to your husbands, and I just feel like I'm, like, the middle between them. Like, I am the combination of both of your husbands. She's always like, you're so much like Daniel, and you're like Caleb, and I'm like, I don't know. I think we're all like each other, and it kind of weirds me out. Just so everyone on the listeners understand the situation. So we all met at a camp. Yeah. And Laken, Caleb, and Daniel, which is my sister's husband, all grew up together at this camp. Now, me, Brittany, and Ryan all knew each other way before we knew any of you. we were born together. We were siblings. We all went to this camp, and we all found our significant others. Now, because of this, they're all similar because they grew up together, and then we're all similar because we grew up together. And then when you mash us together, it's weird as all get out. Because we're like, you're like someone else in this group. Yeah. You all, like, kind of date. All of you kind of got the same person. Yeah. We all were like, we need to marry someone similar. Let's go. Got angry. They're all angry. So take it. It means they're protective. They're protective if they're angry. We like that. That's a good characteristic. Then we need them to have bad relationships in the past so they don't realize that we're not as great as they think we are. Their standards are real low. We might cut this out. It's fine. It's true. It's sad, but it's true. Alright, back to our cliches of tropes. What else do we have? So another one that this one honestly falls under, like, one of my personal favorites. It's a big cliche, but I fall for it every single time, is, like, the one bed or forced proximity trope. Oh, I have that listed. Hold on. It's called, I wrote it as the stuck together trope. Stuck together trope. Forced proximity. They get stuck in an elevator together, or they get stuck in a vault together, or they get stuck working together, or stuck on a quest. I think I know the most recent, well, actually I know the two most recent that I've read of this. One of them is actually Anne Crave. I would count Hudson being in her head as forced proximity. I agree, and I loved it. Yeah, I did too. Great. It's not one bed trope, but, like,
I feel like the most classic one I can think of that a lot of people from book talk and even like that would understand is in A Court of Mist and Fury, the end scene when it's with it's right before the big chapter. Okay, it's like chapter 40.
If our followers have not read ACOTAR,
sorry, at this point I feel like at this point you would have had it spoiled with us.
As like someone has had to have spoiled this. Yeah. So what are you specifically talking about?
It's the inn, when they go to the inn after they're like going into the mountains.
Okay.
The first time things kind of get real steamy.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's a one bed trope there.
Yeah,
and I ate it up. I loved it.
LOL.
See, the thing with that is, like, she spent so much of the book, like, building the relationship at first, and the yearning, like, kind of making you want that moment, to that when it came.
Weirdly,
like, yes.
Verity had forced proximity. Trope.
Yeah, it did. They were living together.
Yup. By force. She didn't want to be there. She wanted to get the stuff and leave.
Yeah. Seeing the forced proximity trope, I think it's really hard to be in that kind of position with someone and not start feeling things for them if you're, like, forced to be stuck with them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because you both experience something no one else has. If you're stuck with them in a situation that no one else is involved in.
That goes back to, like, Grace and Hudson that we were talking about in the last episode in Crush. Like, their, like, banter in between her head that only she could hear. Yeah, it was. And
then the third book,
it was definitely building chemistry that no one else was, like, even included in on.
You couldn't even be like, stop flirting with my girlfriend, because
he didn't know.
He couldn't hear it.
Grace was talking about it.
Nope.
Let's see, more classic ones. The fated mates trope. I know this one is a hot take for some people.
I would also call it the soulmate trope.
Yeah. I think I mostly enjoy it as long as it's done well. Some of them are bad, but most of them I like.
I don't know. I feel like with all of the fantasy books I've read, they all have a mate situation.
Almost all of them have, like, a fated mate situation.
And I'm like, can we just have someone who chooses to be with them? Yeah. Like, they don't need to have some kind of
mate bond,
soul bound mating bond. I just want somebody to. I want like. Back to what we said earlier, where you were like enemies to lovers. Mm-hmm. They chose to stay with them, even though they're bad.
Yeah.
Like, we don't see that often in fantasy books. They choose to stay with them because they're tethered.
Yeah, because they, like, have this soul deep bond. I would say, so there is speculation about Fourth Wing about whether there's, like, a mate trope or not, but I don't think so, because they're both human.
Okay. I like that. That's exciting. I like
so
this
right
one.
Now, yeah.
They chose.
They did.
Hermione
I'm trying to think of other ones where.
Ron.
This one is good. The Shades of Magic series is not. It's a fantasy one that it's not fated mates.
Okay. So. I've just read a lot of fated mates.
I have too. Almost every fantasy book I read has fated mates, which is why I'm, like, really trying to rack my brain here about ones that are not.
It's hard.
Game of Thrones, obviously, I don't think they don't do fated mates to all of them.
There's no relationship in that book series that lasts.
In that books, like, don't last or are toxic as crap.
Everybody dies.
I don't really count that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Alright, I'm trying to think of other classic tropes that we have. Childhood friends to lovers.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of that one, but
I'm not either.
Don't love it, don't hate it.
It has to be done well for me, I think.
It has to be done very well.
Mainly because I feel like it's, I don't know, it's reinforcing that idea of, like, a girl can't have a guy friend. Like, there has to be a love story there. I don't like that.
I agree. I agree with that. I'm trying to think, what other tropes? Is there any others that you had written down? Because I'm coming up blank for, like,
that's all that I had
classics.
Written down.
Oh, I do have a classic.
What's that?
It's, like, in every fantasy book. It's in this one.
Please tell me.
It's in this one.
That was all I had come up with.
It's the chosen one trope.
Oh, yeah. How could you forget that? I feel like that is another one that's just, like, so classic but cliched that it's, like, not even a trope, it's just literature.
It's the human biology in us that says we're the main character. Which, in all fairness, you are the main character of your own story.
Yeah.
Like, for some of our followers out there, I am a side character on the farthest side possible. So, like, what happens in my life doesn't naturally affect a lot of people. Like, people I don't know. I'm just a number
Yeah, I feel more of a side character too. The supporting side character.
But like in your story, you're still the main character, but you're like in everyone else's, you're just
A side character.
a side character, and sometimes you're not even that. You're just a casualty.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that blew my mind, going on this tangent a little, is thinking about like watching a movie, and you know the girl that just dies immediately in a horror film,
Yeah.
or like the character that dies first off. You're like, that's the end of their story. And I'm always the person who's like, what was their story? What led them to that death?
Yeah.
What happened before that? Who did they know before they got to that point?
That's a good point.
Because we never see their story, we just see them immediately die.
There is a word for that kind of. Sonder is the word, like when you realize that like everybody's living like their own life, and it's like
it's mind-boggling for me.
It does kind of trip me out when I realize that like, other people.
When you see people from your past that you haven't seen in years, this happened actually earlier today for me. Caleb was like, "Yeah, they're called a ghost because to you they were dead."
Yeah.
But you see them come back into your life when you thought you closed that chapter.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Holy crap."
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird.
It's weird.
It's weird to realize that, like, I don't know.
See, now that we've gone through Crave, I really want an Xavier story.
Aww.
Because we know what his ending is,
yes,
but I want to know what his story was.
He had mentioned something, so, like, this is a little bit of a side piece of...
We're already on a side piece.
Yeah, but he had talked about how, like, the only exposure we have in Crave series to werewolves are they're all douchebags.
Yeah.
And he was like, not all of us are bad.
Yeah,
and it was like, where did you come from?
See?
Like, where are these other, like, normal, reasonable werewolves?
Tracy, well, get on it. We
need
a side book.
Suck.
It can be as small as a quart of Frost and Starlight. I don't care about the size. I just, even if it's a short story, if you post it on your Instagram, give us some Xavier background. That's what I'm asking for.
I could definitely say there are lots of side characters in books that I wish I had more info on.
Yep. It happens all the time.
As it leads up to their, like, either their demise or, like, they're just not in the story anymore, or even if they're just a really, like, back burner character.
Could you imagine how many books would be in the world if every character in a book
had a side book?
Had it, not even just a side book, but had their own story.
Let me tell you. So, Throne of Glass, okay?
Is it gonna do this
I
to
want a book, like a short novella of every single, like, character couple at the end of the series. Like, I need to know what happens to them.
That's fair, though. I
don't think I'll ever get it.
No,
but
probably
I want
not.
It so bad.
All right, what other? Is there any other popular tropes? If there's any that we're missing, please comment somewhere.
Maybe the fell first and fell harder can kind of like maybe borderline on classic.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, one character, they fall first, and then the other character isn't quitting it at first, but then they end up falling more, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that one would count, maybe. But I think that's all the ones I had wrote down for the
yeah, I agree.
Cliches.
All right, so what do you think in those tropes make them classics? What makes them good?
What makes them classics?
I think for me, it's always about the humans. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it psychology? Like,
psychology?
No, the human. What's the word? Something with an S, and I'm not remembering it. It'll come back sometime.
I don't know.
It's fine. It'll come back to me.
I don't know.
But I think it has to do with a lot of just how humans work. That makes a good trope a trope.
I think so too, and a lot of it, I feel like I said when I was explaining the enemies to lovers, I feel like there are deeper layers to these tropes.
Yeah.
That people resonate with differently.
Oh, we didn't even talk like addiction tropes. Those are things that are there.
Yeah.
And those are hard to read.
I don't like those.
Those are sad.
Those are hard for me personally because I have dealt with people with addictions in my life.
Yeah.
And
it's hard. It's hard to read.
Very hard to read.
And then you have like the scary tropes. It's always like this. I like to call them like Scooby-Doo tropes.
Oh.
When you're like, who did it? And
who done it?
It's always like either like your best friend or your dad. I don't know what you.
The butler.
It's the butler.
Yeah.
You have those ones that are always there, but I think it's just what makes people intrigued.
Yeah, I feel like whether it makes you intrigued or a connection, that was the word I was going for.
Yeah.
Feeling connected in a way to these characters and their story.
Yeah,
it helps you plug in.
I feel like with humans, all of us are this way. Like, we try to find people that are relatable to us or similar to us, and we search for that connection that we just want to be seen. That's
Yeah.
all humans want.
Yeah, and maybe that going back to the being seen part is maybe it's something you're not getting in real life, and it's something like you want,
but
or need psychologically, but you're not like you have either not had that need fulfilled in your past, or you're not getting it currently,
or it's a fulfilling of a dream that you're never going to be able to do because you chose a different path. And like everyone in life, we choose certain specific paths, so we can't always do everything. Like I know I'm not going to be an astronaut. I'm not going to be in the stars seeing a full moon. I know I'm not going to be a horseback rider playing polo. I'm not going to be a football player. Like, I know these things about myself, but I could read about it, and I could pretend to be one.
Yeah, I do. You can see that a little bit. I just had a thought about the fated mates thing that we were talking about. So you had brought up the fact about that of like wanting storylines where they actively choose who they're with.
Yes.
And I think I had seen something before, someone explaining the fated mates and the appeal of it is to like the people that feel like they never get chosen, and so this is like I have to be chosen. Kind of thing.
That's true.
That kind of goes into the thing of like needing something that you're not
getting.
You feel like maybe you're not getting in real life.
Some of those more erotica books that we don't want to happen in real life. They're nice to read, but we don't want it to happen in real life.
There's a reason why it's called fantasies.
LOL. Alright, so we can jump in to, I think, our favorites. Do you want to go to your favorites or your hate-its?
I have more favorites than I have hate.
Okay. We can go back and
forth. I think I've missed out on the ones I hate. Like, I can't think of them for some reason. I must be, like, blocking them from my memory. Like, I hate this so much I don't want to think about it.
Okay.
I don't know. Which one do you want to go? Do you have any?
I have favorites, yeah. I got them.
You can go into them. I love the last one.
Well, one we've already mentioned, Enemies to Lovers.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
That one is definitely one of my favorites. I'll read just about if you describe a book to me and the only thing you say is it's enemies to lovers, I'll be like, okay. I'll put it on my TBR.
It's like, I'll do it. So, Enemies to Lovers, obviously one of my favorites. This one we talked about briefly, fake relationship.
Oh yeah, we had mentioned fake dating. That's a fake dating. That's a favorite.
I think if it's done well, like, I love it. I haven't hated a fake relationship so far.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea, like, in To All the Boys I Loved Before, there's a fake relationship.
Yeah, I've not read that, so I can't say.
Have you watched the movie?
No.
Watch the movie when you get home.
Sorry.
The movie's good. Like, they're very similar.
Yeah.
I would say read the book still, but, like, you're fine. Fake dating. I think it's cute. I think it's done in high school. If you're fake dating in adulthood, it's weird.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to hide something. Like,
yeah.
Happy Place fake dating, not a fan.
No, that one was done.
That was done terribly.
Poorly.
But fake dating in To All the Boys I Love, in...
I swear there's a book series, like a book that I just read that I'm forgetting this trope.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember it for the life of me.
I think it's cute. I think, like, better than the movies. Like, a lot of rom-coms, YA, do a lot of fake dating. And I think it's cute. I like it.
I think if it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, like, an even, like, a higher stake purpose for me, I would enjoy it.
She's all about the high stakes. I'm like, she just wanted to get the other boy's attention, so they fake dated. That's cute. You're like, I want to know if they're going to ride a dragon and die.
Yeah.
Whose best friend's getting it first? Who's falling off their dragon?
I like angst, okay?
You just like killing people off in books. It makes me sad. You're like, high stakes or nothing.
Y'all are in for an eye-opener when I write my book.
Oh.
It's going to be painful.
You are a sad, sad soul. Sad soul.
I don't know if it's sad. I can't even argue against that.
All right. What I've said two. Do you want to say one or do you want me to keep going?
Found family is my biggest one.
That's adorable.
I love the found family trope, and I feel like it's because I have such a rocky, like, familial life and, like, relationships that I don't feel completely comfortable with in blood relation, that, like, I don't know, my found family and the people that I have in my circle, like, you know, and I guess that's the one I connect to the most in series and stuff.
I like the found family.
When I say familial problems, I don't mean my in-laws. You guys count as my
fine.
found family.
It's fine. I wasn't taking it to heart. Just bypassed
You just looked at me weird when I said that, and I was like, no, not that
well,
family.
like, this is gonna sound tragic, but I don't want it to sound tragic. So, like, for me, found family, I love the trope.
Yeah.
But I don't have it with anyone.
Really?
I don't have friends that I rely, like, I have my siblings.
I definitely have my siblings. I have you guys, which are now my new siblings.
Yeah.
So, you guys are kind of like my found family. I feel like I fit more in, okay, this is going to get really deep really quick.
It did. It got to a deep turn. Found family's a deep trope.
I feel like I fit more in, like, the family I married into than the one I was raised in. I just feel like that.
That's fair.
So
I feel like I'm a peg trying to fit everywhere that I don't belong.
That's sad as crap.
I told you it was tragic.
Working.
But it's like, no, like, for you and my siblings, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. I'm comfortable. With Caleb's family, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things, like, friendships outside
I think
are hard to come by. And I think that also comes into the homeschooling edge.
Yeah, I have, when I say that it's something I have like 2 people that I count outside of family.
Yeah, I was going to say, outside of family, I have one that's a couple that I love them to death, and then I have friends that are scattered across the states.
Yeah.
And that makes it hard to be close to them.
Yeah, I have a friend that lives in the UK.
Yeah.
Is basically like, I tell her everything.
Yeah, it's just one of those moments where you realize that, like, the world's so big and all of your friends are scattered across it, but then you're in one place and they're in others, and then you just don't have those friends. I want friends moments to happen, and it doesn't happen often. It's my dryer.
Is it? I was like, yeah. Is it
something? So, outside of the sad found family trope,
I didn't mean for that to be sad. I thought that was going to be like, oh, what a sweet trope.
You can't just say found family is a sad trope because it means either everyone in their family is dead, which just happened to Grace,
except for her uncle,
or the family they came from, which happened to Hudson and Jackson,
complete crap,
is screwed up.
Yeah.
So that found family trope is a tragic
I love
trope.
The found family trope so much, and I feel like that's another reason that I love Akatar so much. Yeah. Is because Feyre finds, like, she has a found family. Yeah. In the inner circle, and that she finds, and, like, I don't know.
You are a way bigger fan of Akatar than I am.
I think it's mainly because I relate to Feyre so much. Like, yeah. If there was any fictional character that I personally, like, see myself as, it's Feyre. Like,
I haven't had that yet. I want that.
Yeah.
I want that. I don't have that yet.
I see so much of myself in her. Like, to a scary point. I see a little bit of Nesta as well, but only in certain parts. Like, the parts that I don't like about myself, I can see.
It's like, maybe because I hate Nesta. Maybe that's a trigger. I should walk away from that. Okay.
Come back to it. We'll put a pin in that.
Oh, yeah, we'll put a pin in that one. All right. What other ones do you have listed? You only have 3. She has 3 down. I have 6. 8.
I think some of the cliched ones are also kind of just my favorites.
That's true.
The redemption. Like, last minute redemption tropes for me.
Redemption stories. I like those.
I love it. I love it so much.
Those
when
are
a character, ones. Like, you know, it's the most tragic to me, too, at sometimes.
So we're seeing a theme.
Yeah.
And her favorites.
Anybody that knows me, you know that
Sad soul.
I do like sad
tragedies. Is that why you're my friend?
I wonder if this is saying a lot about my personal life.
I feel like it is. I feel like maybe we should.
This is going to turn into a therapy session real quick.
Episode of Gilmore Girls when she goes in with her grandparents to have dinner and they try to bring a date for Christian and it's a therapist, and what ends up happening is the therapist goes into her car and Lorelai has a session in the back of her vehicle.
Yeah, that's about what's about to happen. We're about to get into my psyche real quick with these.
We're going to avoid that. All right. I have Second Chance as one of my favorites.
Oh, wow.
So I
put that one in my hate column.
Well, Second Chance for me is same as Redemption. I think we think of different second chances.
See, when I'm thinking of redemption, I'm not thinking in relationship terms.
Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking of relationship terms and second chance terms.
Did you say your second chance romance?
No, I just said second chance.
Oh, I thought you said romance.
No.
Okay, so I should clarify, second chance romances are in my hate column.
Yeah, because if a guy cheated on you, he cheated on you. Leave.
I feel like
Don't stay.
I feel like in most cases, if there's a reason you broke up, there's a reason you broke up, and you probably should not get back together.
Oh, 100%.
Happy place.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think everyone who broke up, they broke up for a reason, and they should not get back together.
Yeah.
Like, if he cheated on you, if it was being gaslit, if they have, like, abusive, like, there's a reason you left.
I can't even think of many books that I've read that have this in them because I dislike it so much. I think Happy Place is the only one I can really think of because I would have DNF'd that book if we were not reading it for this.
Oh yeah, same. I did not
definitely
like that book.
Would have quit after that.
I don't know. I just think if you broke up, you have to trust yourself.
Yeah, most of the time there's a good reason.
Yeah, it's gonna happen again.
I actually can't figure out any reason. It's a good idea.
Yeah, and honestly, if you did end up going back to the same guy after breaking up with him or the same girl, like, I hope it ends up well. I really, honestly do. But
yeah. I'm not bashing anybody that this is your real life experience, but
it's not for us.
Not for me. No.
It's not for me. I think I have too many trust issues.
I do too. If my trust is broken in someone, it would.
Like, I think you are a stronger person if you can handle that.
Probably.
But it's not something I would want to deal with.
No, me either. Anyways, so that's the hate version.
Tropes make you get deep.
It does. Like I said, we're about to like uncover some like real psyche about ourselves in this. All right, you were saying second
chance is, I think, when you give somebody a second chance, because I'm all about second chances. Like, my friend does something stupid. They thought, like, Flint. I love Flint. You hate Flint.
I don't hate Flint.
I want to give him a second chance, because I think what he did out of, like, a good reason. Because he misunderstood Hudson just as much as he misunderstood Grace and Jackson.
Yeah,
like,
I understand this. I don't hate Flint, but I think, personally, if I were Grace, or if I were any of Grace's friends, I don't think I could move past that fact very easily.
See, this goes back. Yeah, that's like...
Like, I would not be able to get over the fact of, like, you almost killed her. You tried to kill her.
Yeah, but, like, think of it as, like, a trolley effect. Like, what if somebody had to try to harm you to protect everyone else?
I completely understand his reasonings, and I get it to a point. Like, it was for the greater good, right? So killing Grace would have stopped a whole slew of things, but at the same time,
it's hard.
I don't hate Flint, okay?
Okay.
And it's not that I'm against him having a second chance. I'm glad he got a second chance. Here's a controversial take. I want to bring up ACOTAR again.
Shocker.
Tamlin.
No,
do you think he deserves a second chance?
I think yes and no, but he did get one and he failed, so I don't think he gets a third chance.
Yeah,
he had a second chance. He screwed up.
This is a pushy subject for a lot of people.
No, like,
people are like, he deserves a redemption, and then other people are like, he's already had his redemption.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
I agree. He already had his second chance. He screwed it up royally.
Yeah, I don't want him to be miserable. Like, I would be okay seeing him have his happy ending, but also, like, he had his chance.
Finds out Tamlin's made it to Elena. Or Elaine.
There are theories of that, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But I would say, yeah, no, I agree. Everyone should have a second chance. Your mistakes,
second chance. Yeah.
Your mistakes do not make you who you are.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with second chances.
Just not second chance romances.
No, not second chance.
Not for me. I have Stuck Together was listed. We talked about that one. I like close proximity, that idea. Mm-hmm. Forbidden Love.
Ooh, I completely forgot about that one.
It's a good one. It's a good one. We love Forbidden Love.
I know exactly what book I just read last that had that.
Which one? Oh, Fourth Wing?
Fourth Wing has a forbidden... It's kind of Forbidden Love.
Ooh. She's real hyping this book up for me, guys.
I need people to read this book, okay?
I'm working on it. There's too many other books to read. Yeah, no, Forbidden Love, I do love that trope. I think it's a very nice, like, even if it's not just like, oh, my parents won't let me be with them because they say they're bad for me. Like, not even just that, but like forbidden, like fantasy forbidden.
High stakes.
Yeah, high stakes forbidden love. Like, I like that. That's
I do too.
We like some of that.
I do too. It adds a tension, a flavor to the story.
It means you have to hide it.
Yeah. Why do we like these things?
Because we're humans. We're humans. That's the thing. Humans are very interesting creatures.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like the forbidden love.
I like the forbidden love. I like the idea of somebody being like, you guys are not allowed to be together because da-da-da is going to happen. And you're like, but I love them. So it doesn't matter what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Trying to think. We talked about friends to lovers. I am a fan of that one.
Yeah. Friends to lovers.
I like friends to lovers, but not in the way you stated it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I think we had different perceptions of friends to lovers. Just when I hear it, I think of like I think of the one-sided love.
Yeah,
that one I hate. I don't know why. I just don't like it.
That's
fair. The friendship to lovers.
I think for me, friends to lovers is they were always lovers. They just didn't know it.
Yeah,
like they were friends at first. And they were happy about being friends. Like Hudson and Grace were both happy about being friends. Everyone, I'm sorry for referencing Grace series too much. It's just because that's what we're reading right now.
It's the current read. So we're probably going to bring it up a lot.
But I like the idea of them being friends first and being best friends. Because like me and Caleb, he's my best friend. So like
my husband's my best friend too.
Having that friend relationship develop, but it was always there. It was never hidden. It was just you weren't tapping into it.
I can agree with that part of a friends to lovers.
Yes. Like, I like the friends to lovers trope. That happens again.
Enemies to friends to lovers gets me too. Like, I like that one a lot too.
But not friends to enemies to lovers.
Oh, I don't know if
we're seeing that unfold.
Oh.
Ha!
You're making me hurt.
Sorry. And then my last one I have is one that we haven't mentioned at all, and it's also happening in the book we're reading. But that one's a square. Love triangles.
I put love triangles in my love/hate.
Okay.
If a love triangle is done well, I like it. If it is done poorly, like Twilight. Twilight is a poorly done love triangle in my opinion.
Because it wasn't a love triangle. It was, can you guys make a baby so I can imprint on her?
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
But also the fact that, like, I just don't like the Twilight love triangle.
I don't love it either. Your husband does.
It wasn't. For those of you that don't know, I'm about to out my husband. He's a big Twilight fan.
Big old Twilight fan.
I only watch Twilight for, like, the vibes, because, you know, sometimes it's kind
a cozy
of like,
vibe.
It's a cozy vibe, and you just want to watch it when the weather is, like, rainy and dreary. But
and then hats disappear in the filming.
I also like making fun of it.
Yes. And you watch it with me. With some wine.
That sounds like a good
real fun time.
Ryan takes it way too seriously.
Things I didn't know about my brother until recently, and I will not stop picking on it.
Yeah. We all have our guilty pleasures, though.
That's true. Mine are... I don't feel very guilty for them.
Nah,
Gilmore Girls, I don't feel guilty for.
I hate... This is another side note. I hate the term guilty pleasure.
Same.
Because if it makes you happy, you shouldn't feel guilty for
it.
Unless it's, like, something, like, way out there, but I can't even think of, like...
Okay, guilty pleasures that are addiction-based, those are not good.
No, or, like, low-key, like, gross.
Yeah.
I mean, like... Okay, that's different.
Keep your kinky stuff in the bedroom. That's not what we're talking about right now. That's what she wants to say. She's not.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, if something brings you joy, there shouldn't be a reason to feel guilty about it.
Again,
even if it's not for everybody.
This does not include murder, guys. That is against the law.
Anything that's illegal, I think you should probably feel guilt for it.
I was like, we need to clarify that really quickly.
I like arson. It's my guilty pleasure.
No more
Be
fires.
guilty.
God, that got dark quick.
Okay.
You're over there just like, if it makes you happy, do it. And I'm like, wait a second, hold up.
You ever like, my mind sometimes just goes too fast through my brain, and then I say what I'm thinking, and then I'm like, pause,
hold up. We need to clarify clarify some stuff here. Don't do anything that's illegal. Don't do anything that will harm another person.
Yeah.
If it's that you like to play Tetris, or play with Rubik's Cubes, or read books, or do fun things that you think you should be guilty, those don't count.
Yeah.
No, murdering,
That is what I meant.
that counts. Don't do that.
If it's illegal.
God.
Be guilty.
Officially guilty if it's against the
Oh
law.
my god. What were you talking about? Love
I
triangles.
don't know. You
How did
said
we
it.
get off of this?
My brain just went.
Twilight.
No.
Twilight is to blame.
Twilight is a good guilty pleasure.
Yeah, that's fine. I just hit my mic.
It's okay.
Oh,
that was funny.
talking about love triangles. So that's a poorly done one. Twilight.
Yes.
If it makes okay. Crave is
A good.
making me like I'm liking this love triangle, but it is also like so painful to me.
Yeah.
Like it is breaking my heart.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I want her to end up with at this point.
Love triangle that happened but was misunderstood.
Yeah, and Harry Potter.
We all made that love triangle. If you told me right now that you didn't believe Harry was supposed to be with Hermione when you first read or watched Harry Potter, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And then Ron comes in and just is like, hey, and then Harry's like, I like your sister, Ron, and we're all like, wait, what?
I like your sister.
Really, that's a good, really quick twist. Like 2 seconds.
Gosh.
I'm right, though.
Yeah, you are right.
Like, I didn't see that coming when I was reading that book.
No.
But, like, it happened. So, anything like those love triangles, I like those.
I'll tell you my ultimate top tier love triangle of all time, and I know you haven't read the series and it hurts me. The Infernal Devices.
Oh. Which one? Well, Clockwork Angel.
Yeah. So, the prequel series to the Mortal Instruments.
Okay.
The love triangle between Tessa, Will, and Jim is like, I don't know what it is about that. It is the only true, like, acceptable love triangle in my eyes. Like, I love it so much.
That's fair. I'm trying to think
It's
of
really
other
beautiful.
love triangle tropes that I've read.
I don't read a lot of them because sometimes, like I said, I hate them.
They're rare. I'm trying to think, like,
I feel like it's
Hunger Games had a love triangle.
Yeah, with Gil. Gil.
No one likes him. I didn't like him in the first place.
Tamlin is very Gil-coded. Can I
Yes.
say that?
Yeah. I feel bad. This is off on topic, but Liam Hemsworth, I'm sorry. You're getting casted poorly.
Oh my gosh.
Everything that he's been in recently, I'm like, I don't like him. It's bad casting.
I'm not even going to watch the next season of The Witcher.
Oh, we're not going to talk about The Witcher.
First of all, because the last season was really bad, but also because it won't have Henry
All right.
Cavill in it.
My love to hates, though. Unless you have any more favorites.
No. I did have one more favorite.
What one?
The burn down the world for them trope.
So again, today on today's podcast at Biblio Madness, we go into the psyche of Laken, where she tells us how tragic and sad everything is.
I love this. Also kind of goes for the morally gray like trope as well. Like, you know,
That's Caleb. He would do that, and you would do that for
I-
Ryan. You're that character.
That is why I like that trope. Is because I am that character.
You are that character.
I am the one that would burn down the world for the people I love,
Yeah.
and I need it requited for me.
See, I'm the character that would jump in front. I would jump in front of you for harm's way.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hurt somebody else for you.
I think it would. Okay, so
See, you would burn down the world and you wouldn't care.
I would maybe care a little bit, but
just a little. See, like, I'm a greater good kind of gal. Caleb, on the other hand, just like I said, you guys are similar. So is Daniel.
yeah,
You guys would burn down the whole freaking world.
I would. In a world that I would not go to jail.
Yeah. Jail's a thing here. All right, so my
have
love to
children.
hates. We've mentioned both of them. Childhood friends to lovers.
Yeah.
I can either love it or hate it.
I
Love,
could
in
get
other
that.
words, did it well.
Yeah.
I did like that book.
I've not read
It
that.
was a good book.
I'm trying to think of one that I hate with that trope.
I can't relate to it, and I think that's why it's a love-hate.
I can't either. I don't have.
I've never lived anywhere long enough to have a childhood,
I don't
Still up.
really have any childhood friends though.
like, childhood friends. And when I consider childhood, I mean, like, under the age of, like, 10.
Yeah, under your teen years.
Under
me.
teenage years.
The
It's
only people I had were my cousins.
Yeah,
That's
no.
definitely not happening.
It's love-hate. I don't... It's good when it's good.
Me.
Yeah. The Chosen One, I love it and I hate it.
Yeah, same.
I kind of get sick of, oh,
Same.
you're chosen. Oh, you're the chosen. I'm like, okay.
The chosen one trope is, yeah, it can be done really well to the point that you kind of forget that they're chosen.
I want to, yeah, it's like we said earlier, I want to see the characters. I want to be in a book about a side character.
Yeah.
Who is,
I
want a Robin Hood situation. I want a Robin Hood main focus story about the other person they're helping being the chosen one.
It's hard to not do a chosen one, especially in like the fantasy tropes.
Yeah. Because everybody wants to be the chosen one.
I feel like the chosen one trope can also get misunderstood sometimes, though, and like this one person is, I don't know how I'm trying to put this. I think the best chosen one trope I've ever read has been Throne of Glass.
Okay.
And it's not like your typical chosen one kind of way, I think. It builds to that point, and you learn so much through it that it ends up paying off. I don't know. I can't think of one that, like, the only other one that I can think of that's sticking out to me is like Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. Those are the biggest like chosen one tropes that I can think of.
Okay, Harry Potter was done well.
It was. I'm not saying, oh, I love Percy Jackson too. That is a great chosen one trope to me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of ones that I don't like, honestly, because I know that it's a hit or miss for me, but I can't think of ones that I don't like.
I'm trying to look at my books that are behind me to figure out which ones. Like, I know I've not liked some of the chosen one tropes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I know that there are ones that I don't like, but I can't place them. The only ones that are coming to me again are Harry Potter and Percy Jackson.
Now that you said it, that's all I'm thinking about. I think this one had a slight chosen one tropey in it.
A little bit, with Feyre being like the savior, but she wasn't like prophesied or something. So I don't know.
I'm gonna have to think about it.
Yeah,
it'll come to me. Maybe not on this podcast, but I'll remember it. The problem with thinking about things you hate is most of the time you lock it away in a box and you throw it away.
That's exactly why I have like three things on my hate list.
Oh, I have 3.
I have 3 too.
I can say them real quickly too.
Yeah. Hate,
insta-love, hate it. Unrealistic. She loves it.
No, I don't.
You liked it.
I liked it with Jackson and Grace. You liked it too.
I liked the banter.
Yeah, they were cute.
But I told you from the beginning that I did not think they were going to be together because it was too insta-love.
I don't
think my own trope, I say with me and Caleb was insta-love, but that comes from tragedy, like I said. It's a tragedy trope.
Trauma bonding.
Yeah, trauma bonding. Yay!
Insta-love is only okay if you can trauma bond.
I don't think that's the only reason I love him at any means, but
no, it's not.
it's something that pulled us together very quickly. It made things escalate quickly.
That happened with Jackson and Grace, though.
Yeah.
They both, like, instantly realized that they were, hurting and screwed up.
It's one of those things where you can relate with somebody, but insta-love I'm not a fan of. I just think I've had it done poorly many times.
I'm not huge on it.
Yeah. Miscommunication trope.
That one is my number one in trope jail. Cannot stand.
I do not like it. Happy Place. You did that to us.
Yeah.
Hated it.
The only book I can think of that I enjoyed that had the miscommunication trope in it was the second book in From Blood and Ash. And it actually served a purpose, though. The Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. They're miscommunicating the whole time because neither of them will just talk.
Yeah, but
she also thought he was like a psychotic, serial killer kind of guy, so
who just kidnapped her.
Yeah.
There was miscommunication, but there was reasons for miscommunication because
there was a purpose for it.
Yeah.
And it actually worked. Even though I spent half of the book being like, just talk.
I also, for that book specifically, I don't feel like they were miscommunicating on a Happy Place miscommunication level.
No, Happy Place takes it to a whole different level on the miscommunication trope.
Well, I think it's completely different because the miscommunication that happened in the Kingdom of Flesh and Fire was miscommunication because she didn't understand what he was doing and why he was doing it. Yeah. Because she did. It was the misunderstood villain situation, and she's trying to figure it out, and that's why there was miscommunication.
Exactly.
With Happy Place,
There was no reason.
It was my least happiest place I've ever been. It's the most miscommunication for absolutely no reason. They were just not communicating for any reason.
My favorite book review of that book I have seen from someone else. I sent it to you. Yeah. Someone like read it as a treat for like their pap smear or something. Sorry, this is like. But anyways, their review was this smear was better than this book.
Yeah. They're like, I would have done it the pap smear again if it meant I didn't have to read the book.
And I was like,
that's fair.
Touché.
Yep. Well done. Sorry, Emily. I love your other books. That one?
Yeah.
No.
It's only the second book of hers I've read, and it's made me hesitant.
Go read People We Meet on Vacation. That one's better, and so is Beach Read.
Yeah.
Happy Place is bad.
That took miscommunication to a whole other trope. There was no reason for that at all.
No. All
There's
right.
no reason.
My bottom of the list. Damsel in Distress.
Oh, yeah.
I hate
I didn't even think about that. I do. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate when women are put in the position, or even guys, when anyone puts somebody else in a position of saying that they're just a damsel in distress and they don't know what
they can't do anything. If you can't.
Like, they can't do it on their own.
Yeah, if you can't figure out how to be strong.
Yeah.
It's not that of not needing help. It's the being portrayed as completely weak and helpless and useless.
Yes, like how Jackson perceived Grace.
Elaine Archeron.
Oh yeah, Elaine. Yeah.
I'm really hoping that we get some more depth and character to her in the next books, because I really don't like her. I just
don't think it's gonna happen. Like Damsel in Distress, Primrose, Hunger Games.
Oh, you hate Prim.
I do.
That's sad.
Prim dies at the end anyways.
Everybody should know that. Hunger Games has been out a long time.
Yeah, but like,
she was like 12. So? I say that, but then Percy Jackson literally saved the world at 12. Harry Potter.
Damsel in Distress, man up.
Sorry, you 12-year-olds. That's no longer an excuse.
Like, I get it, and I know why her sister did what she did, but I don't like the damsel in distress. Like, if there was another reason for her to take it over, like, for Prim, or if there was another reason for someone to do something over, like, the whole damsel in distress crap.
I don't view that as more of damsel in distress, but I can kind of see the weak and useless.
Yeah.
I don't like
and I don't
either.
think Prim was never weak nor useless. No. They just portrayed her that way.
Yeah.
She was very smart. She was a medic at the end.
Yeah, she was.
She was like a bad A, and everyone just put her as a damsel in distress, and that's what pissed me off.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Not that her sister took the games, but also for the same situation with like a lot of rom-coms, the damsel in distress trope, or even if it's just like a few lines of like, oh my god, you don't know how to throw a ball? Alright, let me stand behind you, and you go like this, and
okay,
I'm just like...
so I feel like this is the reason, there's like a whole genre of like romance out there that's like sports related, of like...
I've avoided it.
I will not read it, I'm sorry.
I will read it, but I've avoided it recently.
I
got too much damsel in distress vibes.
It's too... I hate sports too much, I can't get behind it.
I don't hate sports, it's just I don't like men or like I don't like anybody looking at a girl or a guy and telling them like, oh, you're pathetic.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, you can't do this. I want you can do this. I will support you in this. And we saw that come alive recently.
We all need a Hudson Vega.
We all need a Hudson. We don't want a Jackson.
Jackson. He wasn't like that at the beginning.
He wasn't.
Not to that extent.
No. But he did always treat Grace as a damsel in distress.
Yeah, he did. She was a little bit in the first book. Now, like, reading like how much she's grown.
Yeah.
I realize now that she was very much
helpless.
Very much a damsel in distress in the first book. But I like that she has not stayed one.
Yes.
Feyre was also a damsel in distress in the first book.
Yep.
Comes from being a weak, helpless human in a very dangerous paranormal world.
Alright, so we have... What is your hates?
So other than miscommunication, we covered that one. And I already talked about the second chance romance. So I won't bring that one up again.
Okay.
So my last one. And it's not even just... Okay. My last one is accidental pregnancy. I hate it. Cannot stand it. Like, and I will say this
That's fair.
in a way that they make it to only. I don't know how to say it. So, I don't hate pregnancy tropes in general. Like Feyre's pregnancy, I loved.
Yeah.
I think it served. A lot of people hate it because they feel like it was unrealistic to her character. I think it is very realistic to her character, and it's portrayed that in like in the fourth book.
Yeah.
She talks about like her wanting to build a life because she realizes how short time is, and that she lost her mate. So she realizes that she wants to, have a family before maybe it's too late because they're constantly saving the world. But and then like in Hunger Games is another one that sticks out to me so much is like the epilogue of the Hunger Games when they're talking about their family.
Yeah.
I love that. So it's not that I hate pregnancy tropes, it's that I hate the ones that are like Twilight. I'm gonna bring that one up again. That one made no sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. That was weird.
Yeah. Just in ones that like where they only do it to.
I feel like at the end, Stephanie Myers was pulling at strings for the Twilight.
That's what I'm.
And she's like, "How do I get Taylor Lautner involved? Like, how do I get his character more connected? Like, how do I make this make sense?" And then like it instead of like coming up with like your a legit situation.
Ditch plot.
Yeah.
Hook. I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's when I hate it. Is like when it's like I have nothing else to add to the story. Why don't I just make them pregnant? And it's like, well, listen.
No.
There's a right and a wrong way to do this trope. And that's a wrong way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's not like an ultimate hate for me, but it's more of like a strong dislike.
Fair. That's fair.
I don't really care for them. So that's all that I have for my hate. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I can't think of anything else though. I definitely feel like there's one I'm missing, but I can't think of it. It's just blocked.
All right. As we mentioned earlier, we are sorry if we dissed one of your favorite tropes. It is because we did not live your experiences and lives, and we don't understand that. And that is just from our understanding and our point of view. That is no hate against you. You might hate some of our favorite tropes, and that's okay too.
Yeah,
my feelings won't be hurt. It's like each to their own. We've gone over our favorites. We've gone over our hates. Do you have anything else you want to add about our trope conversation today?
I don't really know. I feel like we've talked about them and we've analyzed the ones that we've mentioned.
Yeah. I think altogether tropes are to make humans and people feel more connected to the characters that the book writers are trying to develop.
Make you feel more into the story, a connection to
sympathy, empathy, to make you actually have feelings for the characters. Every book has to have a trope.
Yeah, like I said before, like at the beginning, there's a reason for them and a place for them, even if they are cliched.
Yeah.
And even if we don't like them, there are reasons for them.
I agree. So, on that note, because we're getting a little sleepy over here, because it is dark and late. For my household, at least. Also for your household, I believe.
A little bit, yeah. I just realized what time it was.
Yep. Everybody comment your favorite tropes, your least favorite tropes, or hated tropes in the comments. Follow, subscribe, hit whatever notification on your platform you're on. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We have GoodReads, TikTok, all of the social platforms. We just started a Threads account, which I have to figure that out because I am new to it.
Know what that is.
It's Instagram's version of Twitter.
Oh.
Kind of.
Fun.
Yeah. But we all love social media developing all of the time. It's never ending. But it means we can connect with more people.
Yeah, I enjoy connecting. That's the one great thing about social media.
That is the one great thing about social media. It means we actually get to talk to people.
Yes.
That makes everything a little bit brighter.
Yeah. So on that cheery
it's fine.
Follow us on socials.
Yeah, follow on social
media.
You
can be our friend.
So DM us if you have any questions or if you have any book recommendations or
yeah, for sure. Anything you want us to pick up or talk about.
If you're reading the Crave series with us, DM us. If you need a support group, we're here.
Yeah, tag us in anything that you have review-wise.
If
'cause
someone
I want
out
to
here
know what people think about this
makes
series.
fan art,
Oh my gosh,
I will love you
yes.
forever. Please do that.
Yes.
I need fan art. There's
There is
none.
a serious lack of fan art
It
for this
doesn't
series.
exist.
I've only found like one strand of it.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah. I'm very picky when it comes to fan art. Like,
Yeah.
I guess because I like imagine them a certain way.
I've only ever seen one photo of Hudson Jackson and Grace that I've liked.
Yeah, same.
So.
I think it's probably the same photo.
Probably. All right, on that note, follow, like, subscribe, all the things that we mentioned before. Thank you for listening. It was great getting to talk about all of our favorite tropes and our least favorite tropes and what make tropes tropes. I feel like I've said that word a lot, but
how many times we've said trope.
We will see you guys next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And that's it for this episode. Bye, everybody.